What's up, everybody? Hope y'all are doing good. So today's video is one also that I did previously. It's been about a year and a half ago, and I kind of went back through some of my old videos and kind of rewatched them just to try to learn, I guess, to make better videos and like go through it and look at the things that I dislike and things I do like about it. So this is one of those that I kind of want to just redo because I feel like I forgot some information, and I just want to make sure that I tell the story right. But this one, this one is crazy. This is a lot. Y'all, I'm about to be 29, and to be 29 years old, I have had one wild life. I mean, I've had a lot happen, and I think it's, and I kind of look at it more as a blessing because I was able to learn so much so young. And that gives me the rest of my life to take the things that have happened to me and try to, help people and try to relate to people and let them know that they're not alone in the stuff that they're going through. And I know, like today's videos, when I dated this guy who was a psychopath. I mean, he was a narcissist. It was crazy. And I know a lot of people end up in those types of relationships, and they are absolutely they're horrible. They are a mess. They're just detrimental to your well-being in general. It was to mine. And I was so young, though, I didn't really know about any of that. I didn't really know what that was. But it all started, I met him when I was 19. We actually worked together. And before him, I had only been in one relationship. I can't remember how long exactly it was, but we were together for a long time. He was my first love, high school sweetheart, and I just had never experienced anything other than him. And, being 19 like that, I was still a baby. I mean, you think you're grown up and, all bad and stuff when you're 19, but it's far from the truth. And the guy that I got into the relationship with, I'm not going to say his name or anything, but he I think he was about 10 years older than me. I mean, he was like 30, I believe. So, between the ages of 19 and 30, I mean, that's a big age gap mentally. Because I look back, like, I'm almost 30. I will be in, like, a couple years or so, and I look back at when I was 19 and I see the mentality I had and a lot of just the immaturity, and a lot of that has gone away now. I look back and sit and think, wow, I can't believe I used to think like that or do that. So with him being the age he was, he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly he was wanting to take advantage of a little young person because very vulnerable. I've always had been very codependent, and I guess he picked up on that and thought, this is the perfect opportunity. But when we first met, though, it was really nice. It was wonderful because he was very sweet. He used to do what is called love bombing, and I had never had anybody treat me like that before. Not that good. Like somebody was always wanting to give and give and give, and just would say the sweetest, nicest things to me, and that I wasn't used to because my home life during that time was not very good at all. I was a very troubled kid. I was a very troubled teenager. And so having somebody treat me like that it really made me feel good. It made me feel wanted and loved. And so for the first few months of the relationship, that's how it was. It was sweet. It was wonderful. I couldn't have asked for anything better. And finally, my home life had gotten to a point that almost I couldn't take it anymore. And he used that as a way to get me more involved with him. He wanted me to move in with him. And into being young like that, of course, I had never lived with anybody, besides my parents. So that was a very new thing for me. And I was nervous about it, but I was also excited. And he promised me the world, this and that, and all that quickly faded. I mean, it was like overnight, y'all. I mean, in a matter of a couple weeks, it's like I moved in there and he just flipped a switch and became like a totally different person. It was the craziest thing to me because I was like, how did he go from being so sweet to acting so mean and hateful and just cold-hearted? He just got to where he was very possessive, very, very possessive. It's just the craziest thing. Like, of course, he would go through my phone. He had to do a phone check I think he used to do it every night before we went to bed. Wasn't allowed to sleep with my phone beside my bed where I was sleeping. It had to be on his side because he didn't want me on my phone. And mark my words, y'all, I had never done nothing to this man. I was about as loyal as you could get. Never had any trouble out of me or nothing. But he acted as if almost I was just out to get him or was a cheater or something. But, you know, he always had full control over my phone. I couldn't even talk on the phone with anybody without him being beside me trying to listen, asking me, who is that? Who is it? And, you know, if I got off the phone and was on the phone longer than he wanted me to be, it was, the whole day was ruined. Like, I was not allowed to go anywhere by myself. Like, when he would be at work, he had the little tracking thing on my phone, and he saw where I was at all times. So when he was at work, I had to stay in the apartment. I could only leave unless he was with me. And as far as like going to the bathroom and stuff, I would go take a shower. I was not allowed to shut the door. I was not allowed to have my phone in the bathroom at all. He would always be standing right there trying to, like, I don't know what he thought I was doing. I was just taking a shower, but it was just really weird. And as far as like clothes and stuff, this was the one I guess that really got to me the most. Was he would call me like a slut, or he would tell me that, you know, oh, you're cocky, and, you know, you're nothing but a hoe. That's why I have to do all this. And, you know, he just made me feel like complete garbage about myself. And I remember every outfit that I wore every day, he had to pick it out. He had to approve of it, everything I wore. He had to approve of it. If it's something that I guess was too revealing to him, or something that made me, you know, complimented me, I was not allowed to wear it. I was not allowed to wear shorts, not even the summertime. I was not allowed to wear a tank top, a cutoff. I was not allowed to take my shirt off, not even at the pool. And when we would be out in public together, I had to look down. I couldn't look around because he always was thinking that I was going to look at somebody. I don't know. It's like his mind just obsessed over me looking at somebody. And the thing is, I would have never done that anyways. Like, I've always had the most respect for the people that I've dated. Like, I don't make inappropriate comments about other guys in front of them. I just always try to treat them as if how I would want to be treated. But it's like this dude was so, he acted like I was just out to get him, to ruin his life. And he would just go to these extremes of just wanting to just be so possessive. It was almost like he owned me. And as far as like sex life and stuff, if I had to, every time he wanted, I had to, or either it would just be an argument. And which the thing is, I never really argued back with him though, because the couple times that I did, he got very violent. He's like, he would get real violent like that, real mean to shut me up, because he always had to win every disagreement. He was never in the wrong. He never apologized. It was always me. Everything was my fault. It does not matter, even if I had nothing to do with it, and the argument or whatever happened was all on him, it was my fault. I was the idiot. And that's what he would call me. He would call me an idiot. He would call me just about anything. But the one time that I think that stands out the most as far as him getting violent was, first off, he would get mad at me if I got upset, like if I cried. Like, he would get so pissed off about that, and he would flip out. One day we were standing in the kitchen, and I can't remember what he called me. He called me something very ugly, and it really hurt my feelings, and it made me cry. And I remember just standing there. The dishwasher was down below, and I had pulled the rack out and loaded all the dishes into the bottom right there. Well, I started to cry. The dishwasher was still open. He reached down there and grabbed the whole rack of dishes and slung it across the kitchen, broke glasses. I mean, there was glass shattered everywhere. And then he got mad and went into the hallway and grabbed this big glass vase that my grandma had given to me. Well, he grabbed it and slung it down the hallway. I know the neighbors had to hear this shit. Oh my God, there's no way they couldn't have. And I'm surprised they didn't call the police, but the vase shattered. There was glass all in the carpet in the living room. And guess who had to clean it up? Me. Because if I didn't clean it up, then it wouldn't get cleaned up. But it's almost like he enjoyed doing that stuff to me because it made him feel like he had complete control and complete power over me. And one thing that I did figure out as time went on the reason why he was so weird and obsessive about me cheating on him or whatever was because he was the one that was doing it. I remember one day I just remember one day something just crossed my mind. I was like, I wonder if he's ever done anything like that. Because I never looked through his phone. He would follow me like a shadow, just trying to watch my every move. And I never done anything like that to him. I was always very laid back, very easygoing. Well, one night it crossed my mind to look through his phone. It took some balls for me to do that too. I had to really master the courage to go do it, and he was asleep. And so I walked over there very quietly, grabbed his phone, went into the living room, sat down and looked through it, and just, I'm not going to go into detail with what it was, but he was doing stuff that he did not want me to do, if that makes sense. Like you could tell, I guess he felt he needed to be like that with me because he had a guilty conscience. And I will never forget that, y'all, going through his phone and seeing some of the stuff that I saw, because I had never had anybody really hurt me in that way, as in cheating. I've never experienced that, and I just remember my stomach dropped, and I swear I was sick for days. And it was in that moment I knew, I was like, I have got to get out of this. I have got to get out of this relationship, because this is unhealthy. And I would have actually, I would have left sooner, but he would make comments about if I left that he would do something to me. Almost like, basically he was saying, if you leave, I'm going to kill you. If I can't have you, then nobody can have you. But he said it in a very aggressive way. He was very much a gaslighter. I just remember, it doesn't matter if I could get upset about anything, he just always wanted to make me feel crazy. He had me questioning myself so much that it's like, I didn't even know if I was coming or going. I was I felt so confused all the time. I thought I was losing my mind because I had somebody sitting there, telling me that I'm doing this wrong, or, this is what I should be doing. And he was very, very much a manipulator, and he was very good at it. You could tell he's had a lot of practice. And it just got to the point to where, my little brain was I was exhausted. I was just so tired of it. I was drained. It has sucked the soul out of my body. But so I kind of just prepared myself day by day to get the courage to leave. And finally the night come, he was asleep on the couch. I grabbed just a few bags, snuck out with the keys, got in the car, and drove off, and never came back. Never came back. He tried to contact me in so many ways, blowing my phone up, just acting crazy. And then that's when I realized then too, I was like, yeah, I'm glad to be out of this. But when I was involved in that, y'all, it will have you feeling very tricked, very confused, very unsure of yourself. And that's what makes it hard to get out of relationships like that, because that person makes you feel like you absolutely need them. You can't survive without them. And that's the whole goal, is to manipulate you and to make you feel like you are nothing, so that way you won't leave them. And I see people in these relationships all the time. Like, I was watching a couple videos on YouTube about it, and this one girl, her story was very, very similar to mine. And she talked about how she just felt crazy. She just was questioning herself, everything she thought, everything she felt. And, that hit home, because I remember sitting there being that way. I remember sitting there questioning myself like that, scared to death to make a wrong move because somebody might hurt me. He never hit me. I don't know why. I don't know how he did, honestly. He never hit me, but he was definitely he was violent, but he was definitely more of the mental and emotional abusive person. And to me, that right there is just as detrimental as the physical. I mean, the emotional abuse really it hits you kind of in your core, and it makes you wonder what kind of a person you are. Are you a bad person? Are you worthy of love? And that's exactly what it did to me. So, I experienced this firsthand. So, guys, if any of y'all have ever been in a relationship like that, or in one now, it's, just always take care of yourself. Always make sure to love yourself, and always make sure to stand up for yourself and to stand up for who you are. Don't let people take advantage of you. But like I said, I know it's hard to get out of situations like that. It was very difficult for me, and I look back on my life at it, and it's like, it's just very naive. I didn't really understand life. I was just so young, but I learned a hard lesson going through that. And that really, my dating life really improved after that, because I would notice red flags. If somebody had a trait that was anything like his, I could just get the vibe off of it, and I would avoid them. I wouldn't get involved. And I feel like me going through that saved me from getting involved with some bad people. Because after that, my relationships were they were very different. They were nothing like that. And, it left a scar on me for sure. Because when I would start dating somebody, of course, I would have the fear that, what if they turn out to be like that again? But, the relationship that I'm in now is wonderful. It is absolutely nothing like that. It is nothing. I couldn't have asked for a better one. So looking back on my life like that, it's just like crazy, because I've came a long ways. But that's just all I wanted to share with y'all today. Just another story time, but I'll post another video next week. I'm gonna try to think of, I've got several stories that I want to tell, so I'm gonna try to sort through those and pick out which one I want to do. But thank you guys for watching. I will be with you next week. Y'all subscribe and have a good day. Thank you.